episode 89.
Are you ready to take your eBay business to the next level? Then hold on, because Ron and Ali are going to take you into the fast lane with the latest tips and insights from some of the biggest and most successful sellers here on the So You Want to Sell on eBay podcast.
Welcome once again to another episode of So You Want to Sell on eBay. I'm Ron LeBeau.
And I'm Ali Young.
Hey, everyone. We have with us from Rhode Island, Dave Kosciusko. How you doing, Dave?
Good. How are you guys? Thanks for having me on.
Yep. Doing good here in St. Louis. How you doing in Thailand?
Rhode Island. Is that a name of a place, is it?
Yep. Yeah, a lot of people. It's not New York. I tell people I'm from Rhode Island. They say, what part of New York is that?
Yeah.
Rhode Island. I love it. Never heard of it.
What currency do you use there? Yeah.
And it's not actually an island. It actually is just a regular state. We're right below Boston, in case anybody's wondering.
Jeez.
Right. That's awesome. Well, anyhow, we're going to go ahead and get started here. And Dave is an eBay power seller, and he also owns 2 cell phone repair stores called Buycellfix. And on top of that, he teaches people around the country how to make money on eBay selling used cell phones. So he currently makes about $20,000 a month on eBay. And Dave, I tell you what, I don't know how you do it, but I really, really am interested in learning more about what you do. I'm actually a member of your course. I'm just going to throw a disclaimer out there. I have purchased your course, and I am a member, and I appreciate everything you've shown me so far, and I can't wait to learn more. So let's dive right in. Ali?
Gee, unbelievable. $20,000 a month? That's unbelievable. We're talking dollars. We're not talking like rupee here or something, are we?
No. That's dollars.
Dollars. Rupee, I can understand. So, and you're going to have to, I'm going to put
1,000 pesos a month.
That's it.
Right,
I'm going to put a disclaimer right at the beginning. I'm going to be calling these mobile phones. It's just what we call them. But talk us serious. $20,000 a month. What's that all about, Dave? How are you doing that?
So what I do is I post ads on classified sites such as Craigslist, Facebook groups, and things of that nature, looking to buy used cell phones for cash. Then people call us, and then we buy those phones at a price we make a profit at, and then we sell them on eBay, and we flip them fast.
So are they broken as well? So if I had one, because there's loads of broken, flat, damaged screens, you take all that sort of stuff, do you?
50% of the phones that I buy are broken because there's very low emotional attachment in broken items. So the profit goes a little higher. Yeah.
Wow.
That's right.
And what, then you've
Very
got
cool.
like a sweatshop or something where you got all these little people fixing these phones, have you?
Nice.
Actually, we don't fix the phones that we buy. Believe it or not, the phones that we buy, even though I do cell phone repairs, we just buy them as is and we sell them as is. We don't fix them. I get that question all the time.
Oh wow!
People get confused. So when I do repairs, awesome. we strictly repair just for profit. Like someone comes in, we'll fix their phone. But if we buy a phone, we will not fix it to sell it. We'll just sell it. It's all about volume, moving it quickly.
Yeah, and you have 2 stores, right? 2 brick and mortar stores, and you have a couple employees. So you are to a point, Dave, right, where you don't do as much as you used to in the stores, right? I mean, you pretty much have your employees trained to do everything you need them to do, pretty much.
Yeah, both my stores are open 7 days a week. I work 3 hours a week in that business. It's just one of my businesses, but I currently work 3 hours a week in it. That's it, pretty much.
Good business. I like the sound of that business. 3 hours a week, right? I'm off to play a bit of golf.
Now you understand why I signed up for his course. I went that. I'll do 4 hours. I tell you what, I'll do 4 hours a week. Just show me how to do it. I'll do 4 hours.
He has to be a hero. He always has to be a hero.
Yeah.
Yes,
don't always have to
I'm
be.
mad. I hate when I have to go into it. It bothers me. Tomorrow I'm going in from 11:30 to 2. So it's actually, How many hours is 11:30 to 2? It's actually 2.5 hours, I think, right?
You're going to be all right?
Well, yeah, and then you have to take a lunch. You have to take an hour lunch in there, too. So,
So it's going to be 2.5 hours I'll be there. And I have a guy actually coming from my course. I'm training him on cell phone repairs, I promise him. So it's a special treat. I don't mind going in tomorrow. But normally I really don't like even going in for 2 hours a week.
So the question I can imagine everybody is saying is, okay, I don't imagine you got there straight away. That must have taken a bit of time and effort to be able to do like less than half time a day.
Well, the $20,000 a month, believe it or not, only took me 3 months to hit. Starting on eBay. I did from when I started off with nothing. I started off $300 in an envelope, and I built it up to $250,000 in sales in 8 months within starting. That I did all alone with no employees, though. Yeah. Yeah,
That's pretty incredible, man. I mean, seriously,
I
there's
did
a lot of
off
people.
a couch in my mother's basement. It's a pretty cool story. That's a whole other story in itself that I could tell you about that one.
Well, let's hear it. I mean, we got time.
Yeah, I mean, no one's listening. Don't worry about it.
You want to hear how it went from $0 to $250,000 in 8 months?
Who wouldn't? I mean, who wouldn't want to hear that?
Pen in hand.
So here's what happened. So look, first of all, I want to tell everybody, because people always think that rich people always are born rich, and that's certainly not the case for me. I'm 35 right now, but when before the age of 30, I had gone bankrupt twice. You know, and like, who does that? Who goes bankrupt twice before the age of 30? Well, that was me. My wife and I lost our house in the market crash in 2008. My daughter was born in 2008. So not only we had lost our business, we had failed for the third time in business. I had gone bankrupt for the second time, and I lost my house. We had no money. We were flat broke. We moved into a room in my mother's basement to live there. It was my wife, my daughter, and me all slept in the same room, had one TV, had a coffee table, a couch, and that was our living quarters, was this one room in the basement. And I had to get a job as a carpet cleaner, making only $300 a month. It was hard physical labor because, I mean, not $300 a month, $300 a week. I'm sorry, it wasn't that horrible, but $300 a week because I couldn't take anything else. And my wife liked to go to yard sales because we had no other way to furnish the house or our room by going, we couldn't buy anything new. So we go to yard sales and we decorate our house that way. And I had been wanting to sell on eBay for a while because I went broke and everything. I started reading a lot of books so I could learn more, and I read a lot of books on eBay. So anyways, one day it was our anniversary, and I came upon a Coach purse. Now, do you guys know what a Coach purse is? You ever heard of that? Coach?
Nope.
Oh, yeah. High dollar.
Coach is a designer purse. Right now, Michael Kors is the hot item for designer purses. But Coach, 4 years ago was a big seller. They sell for about $200, $300, $400 a piece at Macy's. And I bought her this Coach purse for $30 at a yard sale. It was in nice condition. And I bought her that as an anniversary gift because I didn't have a lot of money. So she was ecstatic. She loved the purse. So, but just for the heck of it, I went home that night and I looked up on eBay to see what this purse was worth. And I saw it was selling for $230. And I was like, geez, I only spent $30 on this purse and it's selling for $230. So
that purse
I'm
went
like,
missing.
No.
Sorry, love, I need that purse back, please. Can you give it back to
she
me?
might still have that purse. I don't know. Maybe we sold it by now, but she has a collection of purses at this point. But I didn't sell her purse. Anyways, what I told was
that would have been funny. Sorry, I changed my mind. Give me my purse back.
Yeah.
But I was like, look, next week, let's go to the yard sales and let's see if we can find some designer purses because I think we might have found a niche that we can make some money in. So next week, I went out, I bought 4 designer purses. I ended up going on eBay that night and I listed them. The next day, they all sold and I made $200 profit on those 4 purses. I'm like, all right, I got something here. I had tried doing some stuff. Like I tried some crap at a yard sale. It was like a old American flag and I lost money on it, and all these porcelain like lighthouses I had tried selling and I bombed. But this was the first time I made real money. So the next week we went out and we got up really early in the morning and wanted to buy some more purses. So that day I actually bought a bunch of purses and made $400 in a day. So we realized that we had found something that was profitable. So each week we started going off. This went on for about a month and a half. And I said, let me put some ads on Craigslist and see if I can expand. So I put up ads on Craigslist and say, I'll buy your designer purse. Well, we started getting twice as many purses in as we did at the yard sales by Craigslist. And then I didn't even have to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go to yard sales. They were all coming to me. So this went on, and I started getting more and more purses and more sales. And then I said, well, what else can I sell other than purses? And I realized cell phones are big, and I've always been a big cell phone lover and a technology guy. So I figured, let me try out cell phones. Well, I put an ad up on Craigslist, put a few ads up, said, I'll buy your cell phone cash. Well, within my first month, I hit $10,000 in sales of buying cell phones. The month after that, I hit $20,000. And within 8 months, I hit $250,000 working off a couch in my mother's basement. Literally, my office was just a couch that was right across the room from my bedroom, my bed where we sat, where we slept at night. And then I had a coffee table, and I had a little eBay plastic shipping station there, and that's where I did $250,000 in sales.
You just removed any excuse that anybody has that says that, hey, I can't do this on eBay. I mean, you started out with 0 in a, let's just say a 10 by 12 room, whatever that room was,
Yeah, it was a little bigger room. I mean, it was probably like a 12 by 20 or 12 by 15. So, I mean, it wasn't like, we were all like this, but it was, it wasn't very comfortable. All of
10 by 12
there.
makes the story sound better, man.
Ron was selling a prison cell,
man.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Ron and Ali will be right back after this short break.
Do you want to set yourself apart from other eBay sellers? Want to look like one of the big brands? How would you like to feel confident that you could do it yourself, but know that the support is there if you get stuck? Now you can create your branded eBay store and have your store doing more. With Auction Pro Template's premium do-it-yourself eBay template. This template is loaded with tools and features you won't find in any other system. Go to yourstoredoingmore.com now to see what's included. That's yourstoredoingmore.com.
Be sure to check out SoYouWannaSellOnEBay.com for the latest podcasts and all the information you need to get selling fast.
No, so anyhow, seriously. So, I mean, I'm sure times were tough, man. And I'm sure, I'm just trying to think about that. I mean, you guys were probably really struggling, in every way you could think of. And yet you didn't let it get you down. You picked yourself up by the bootstraps and you made something happen. And look where you're at today. I mean, seriously, it's pretty awesome. Your story is pretty incredible. And I think it's great content for a really, really awesome book that I am not kidding you, I would read.
Thanks. I'm going to tell you, for anybody who's struggling out there, I never thought this would happen. I could never picture my life the way I am now. I do about $50,000 a month with my businesses combined now, and the lifestyle I lead is pretty crazy. But my wife and I, we've traveled over 28 major U.S. cities in the last year, and I've met some incredible people. I'm friends with celebrities now and things of that nature. But I couldn't ever picture this, and I was so broke that to get started buying this stuff on eBay, I had to convince my mom to let me sell some junk in her garage just to have some capital to buy these purses. So I sold some crap at our own yard sale, raised $300 just to buy more purses so I could make some money. She said she'll let me sell off some of her stuff. I made $300 and put it in an envelope, and I told my wife, I'm going to see how much I can make out of this. Well, within those 8 months, I had $35,000 cash saved up from doing this. And I had put that in the bank.
And that's
incredible.
This is all being okay. So you're going there, you're buying these phones from these people. So you're getting the money from your mum, buying the phones from these people, and then with the phone that you have, you're then selling it on eBay. Is that right?
Yes, exactly. Yep. So I'll buy the phone, pay cash for it. We haven't signed a bill of sale, and then we flip that on eBay. Exactly. Yep.
So how did you get beyond the point where you knew that would actually work selling on eBay? Otherwise, you're going to spend all your capital on phones, and then you can make like a little phone house.
Little phone house.
Little phone house. You got so many phones. Like damn, these things aren't selling. Just see your eyes.
No, but you just know. So I actually was going to be an appraiser. My mother was a real estate appraiser, so I went to school for appraisal. It ended up falling through, but I learned a lot during appraisal school. And the marketplace is basically going to, if a phone's selling for $200, you're going to sell the phone for $200. You're not going to not sell, let's say, an iPhone 6 that right now is selling for $289. You're not going to list that for $260. Nobody's going to buy it. It's going to sell like within 2 seconds. So it's never a matter of whether it's going to sell. But the tricky part is the buying. The buying right. That's where the hard part is. You've got to buy the phone at a price you're going to make a profit. You're going to get someone you're going to convince someone to sell you that phone at, let's say, $130, so you can flip it for $280 and make yourself that $120 profit, $100 profit. So that's the hard part. That's the tricky part.
Yeah, but the good thing about that is most of the times the people that are selling to you are looking for quick cash. And so it's kind of a win-win situation. If you buy the phone from them, you give them cash that they need, and then you can turn around and increase your business by, turn around and flipping that phone and making a nice profit on that. Jeez. So let me ask you this. Okay, so I know you've got quite a bit following now, and you've got a course, right? And you started this course like 4 months ago or something like that, right?
3 months ago, just literally 3 months ago.
Okay, so
I actually started exactly 3 months ago. It was right at the end of July, and now it's the end of October. So about pretty much exactly 3 months.
All right, so you took all your information and just kind of, just basically outlined everything you need and did a step-by-step course so that anybody that would like to know how to do this can do that as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. So basically what I did was I've been training my employees now for a little bit to run my store for me. And I have to be good at training them, because if I don't train them right, I lose a lot of money quickly, right? They have loads of cash at the store that they hand out to customers to buy these phones to hit that $20,000 a month. So if I don't train them right, I lose money really fast. It only takes a couple deals for them to to mess up where I'm going to lose hundreds. So if I can't train them, then obviously I go out of business. So what I did was I just took all the manuals, all the training stuff that I use for my employees, and I just turned that into a course. Because I had to train my employees good. The stores are open 7 days a week, like I said, and I'm not usually there. So I just figured, you know what? If I'm good at training my employees, I'll be good at training someone else.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I tell you
and
what.
It worked out good. My first ever client, I trained him after he watched my videos, took my course. Literally, he made $1,000 profit his first week in my course. Now, I'm not going to say everybody does that, but that's just how it really just launched. It took off right away because the content was so good in it. And I'm not bragging or anything like that, but it just, we've got tons of testimonials where people have taken it and they've done fantastic.
So could I take this same concept and sell like dog food?
Dog food. So I don't know if there's a
elephant food. Let's do that one.
Elephant food. I'll buy your elephant food for cash.
That's right. Yeah.
But is it? I mean, this concept that you've created, I suppose you could make
slogan, I'll fill up my trunk. Yeah.
Hey, I need someone like you over here, mate. That's what I need.
You could actually take that course and kind of use it for other things to sell as well. I mean, basically.
That's what I just said. He said.
Well, you said something about dog food or something. I don't know what you're talking about, man.
So you can take my module. So there's other people in the course that do other things. Like I said, I did this with designer purses. I buy laptops. I'll buy cameras. I'll buy video games consoles. Sometimes I'll buy tablets like iPads. But 80% of the stuff I sell is phones because they just are so easy to flip and move, and there's just so many of them. 20% is all the other items that I sell. So the majority of it is phones, but you can do this with antiques if you wanted. I mean, you could put up an ad, I'll buy antiques, whatever that you can legitimately buy. Now, you can't do stuff with like guns. You can't put an ad up, say, I'll buy your guns cash. That's pretty hardcore. I think there's some laws against that one, but
we'll blow the socks off any other dealer.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, we'll blow the socks off any other dealer. Yeah, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
bit different concept. So this is brilliant. So this is all come about pretty much from a point where you had nothing. And that inspiration of, I absolutely have nothing. I need to make something work. Seeing a concept. Cheers, love for the bag. Cheers for that. And making it work. So sometimes hitting the lowest point is sometimes the best thing that can happen, correct?
It is really, because you know what? There was nowhere else for me to go. And I tell you, for some of the most successful people I've seen, like guys like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I don't know if you guys know The Rock, but I remember how he talks about the wrestler The Rock. So at one point he had $7 in his pocket, and he came up from a really humble upbringing. His family was really poor and stuff like that. And guys like that you hit that point where you can't go any lower. You just appreciate things so much. And one thing I found in life is that whatever you appreciate appreciates. So when you're grateful for what you have, even if you don't have a lot, you seem to attract more wealth into your life. Where people that come from riches, it's a little bit harder if you haven't ever hit that rock bottom to have that drive, that hunger, because you never want to go back there. Believe me, when you're on your second bankruptcy and you're broke and you're moving into your mother's basement when you have a child. I remember, I'll tell you, and I'll get serious for a second and a little emotional. I remember one day, it was the worst thing in the world. We had just moved in there. We'd lost the house. We had nothing. I had zero money. And we literally had to eat spaghetti that we bought at Price Right for like 30-cent boxes. We had only a $30 grocery budget. I was taking a home carpet cleaner and shampooing people's rugs on Craigslist just to make $20 a rug so I could try to get by, because I didn't even have a job at that point because I lost my business that's how I ended up landing the carpet cleaner job. But I remember it was 3:00 in the morning and we got a knock on the door, and it was the repo man coming for my car. And he had our baby seat in his hand, and he said, listen, I don't have the heart to take the car with the baby seat. I at least wanted to give this to you first. We're taking your car, sir. And I mean, you talk about hitting rock bottom. That was
humble
hard.
beginnings, man. That's humble beginnings right there, man.
What's he coming around at 3 in the morning for? Don't they have any heart at all? Come back later, mate. I'm asleep. Come back later.
I give the guy credit. He chased me down for a while. We didn't want to give the car up.
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. You made a run for it, huh?
Yeah, gee.
It's time for a quick break, but the guys will be right back here on the So You Want to Sell on eBay podcast.
What's more exciting than starting your own eBay empire with one of Auction Pro Template's custom eBay store and listing template packages? How about saving yourself $200 when you do it? That's right. Right now, you can take advantage of starting your own totally custom eBay store for the insanely low price of $697 when you use promo code SAVE200 during checkout at auctionprotemplates.com. You still get all of the amazing features and benefits as before, like a custom designed eBay store and matching custom eBay listing design, video tutorials, software, custom branding, 1-year free hosting, and so much more. But now you get to save yourself $200 doing it. So celebrate the start of something awesome with $200 in savings when you order your very own custom eBay store and listing template package. Go to auctionprotemplates.com and check out all of the features and benefits of having a totally custom eBay store and use promo code SAVE200 today. Are you tired of stockouts? Are you done with overselling? Are you sick of wasting time with boring back-end tasks? If that's you, Ecom Dash is here to help. It's an inventory management and automation software system that helps your business run lean, reduce errors, and increase sales. Sync your inventory and sales data across channels, automatically forward sales to suppliers, and make your e-commerce business scalable. Visit ecomdash.com. That's ECOMDASH.com for a free trial and take 50% off your first month with promo code PODCAST.
We're back with more tips, insights, and interviews with Ron and Ali.
So, okay, let's talk about the fear part there then, because to a lot of people, you know, that could be like, I suppose it's make or break, but how do you get beyond the point of, man, how do you get beyond that fear to just grow to that next point? Because it can be so like, this is me, I'm stuck here now, I'm never going to succeed. But you did the opposite. You made it succeed. Wasn't there a lot of fear?
Oh, hell yeah. It was terrifying. Yeah, I was, you know, a lot of things were, it was so scary. I didn't know what was going to happen in my life, but it's kind of like, what else am I going to do? What other choice do I have? I either choose to sit and live in this horrible condition that I dealt, but I didn't feel like a man allowing my family to be in that position. You know, I didn't feel right. I'm like, I knew I had to do it. So to get over the fear, what I did was I actually wrote out a list of all these things, these positive traits that I wanted to have that I didn't have at the time. Because when you're in that position, when you're broke, your mind just crumbles. You're in a constant state of anxiety and panic because you have you have nothing. You're in a fight or fight mode almost all day long. So to get out of it, I had to psych myself out psychologically. So I recited this credo every day that said, I overcome obstacles easily. I will do everything it takes little by little to achieve my success. I do not lie to myself or others. I am willing to, I keep my mind and body in shape. I forget the whole credo. I have it actually printed out over here. But I actually said this credo to myself every single day to convince myself to get up in the morning and do the battle that I needed to survive. And it worked. And that's how I ended up. You know, one thing led to another, and that's how I started the business and moved on. But I was so motivated. I would literally go to the bookstore, so broke I couldn't even buy a book. So I'd actually go to Barnes and Nobles and sit and read books. I actually would just read 2 or 3 books at the bookstore and put the book back on the shelf. Just because I had to do that.
Nice.
They're still looking for you.
They were in the car. Yeah, no. So,
I mean, some of this stuff, I'm telling you guys, I'm not proud of a lot of things like the bankruptcy and hiding from the repo man. But, you know, we got to do what we got to do sometimes.
Definitely.
And it's just,
hey,
hey,
Dave, seriously, man. First of all, we appreciate you stepping back that far because, you know, there's a lot of people, man. Times are tough in these days, man. The economy's, terrible here. And there's a lot of people out there that are not sure how they're going to make their next payment on anything or groceries. So your story is really, really revealing in that, you started out. I mean, we talk about you making $20,000 a month because that's just really awesome, right? But for you to take us all the way back to your mom's basement, and I appreciate you being so humble to tell us that story. It lets people know that, even though you are doing really, really well on eBay now, you didn't start that way. I mean, because, one thing we always hear is that nobody starts an eBay. Nobody says, hey, you know what? I'm going to take some money and start an eBay business. It just kind of grows as like you did. You started selling things, found out you could sell things, and you just grew it from there. And now you have a really, really awesome eBay business, So I just want to take a minute and say thank you for stepping back that far in your story, man. It's, failures and successes. That's what we really talk about a lot here. And, the successes are because of the failures.
Thanks, Ron. I appreciate that. And also, just to let everybody know that's watching here is that it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows growing in the eBay business either. There was bumps in the roads along the way. I'll tell you a quick story. Once I got on some traction and started buying all these purses, I started getting kind of cocky. So I started buying more and more, and I was buying stuff that, I wasn't even sure if the purses were real or not, I just kind of was like, I'll take a chance and hope that they're not lying to me, and I'll learn my lessons. Well, I learned a hard lesson one day. I bought these Chanel purses from this lady. I remember driving out to the Cape, and it was through an email, and, I should have known better, but the sweetness of the deal, it blinded me. I was like, I'm going to make $1,000 profit on this. So I'm all excited. So I get there, and I hand her $2,000 for these purses. I get home, I'm like, yeah, man, I'm going to sell these purses for $3,000 a piece because that's what they're selling for. And I'm all fired up. And it was funny because on the way there, I got one of my guys that was helping learn eBay at the time. He's like, Dave, be careful with those purses. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. This is a great deal. I'm going to make money. So I get home, right, and I tell my wife, we're going to make all this money on these purses. I go list them, right? Within 2 hours, I get the horrible notice from eBay. Notice violation M something -- counterfeit merchandise. You have been warned by eBay. One more warning like this will result in suspension of your eBay account. And I'm like, oh God. So here I am getting threatened by eBay for selling counterfeit merchandise for one thing. My eBay account's about to get shut down. And not only that, I'm out $2,000 on these Chanel purses. So it was,
yes.
I remember I was like, my wife, you can ask her what it was like at the time. I was just walking around like I wanted to puke the whole day. It was terrible.
So what did you do with those purses?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
He's throwing their ground for $500.
I hung them up on the shelf so I didn't do anything stupid like that again. I literally put them up on the shelf in my room so I could stare at them all day long so that pain would stay with me so I didn't do that again.
But really, it's learning is it's the process, right? You're going to make mistakes, and everybody needs to know that, right? Because if you're out there right now and you're thinking about starting an eBay business, or maybe you started your eBay business and you're hitting some bumps along the way, and you're seeing everybody else being successful, just know that everybody else that is successful on eBay right now not always was successful on eBay. I mean, Dave's testimony right here is true. I mean, it's $2,000. That's a lot of money for anybody, even if you're making $20,000 a month. $2,000 is a good hit.
And I wasn't making $20,000 a month at that time. I think I had about maybe $4,000 or $5,000 cash. So to lose that was about half my money at the time. And I worked really hard to pay that money. But the good thing is, look, don't be afraid, guys, to take some bumps and bruises in business, because the next month I bought 2 real Chanels because I did my research and learned my lesson after that one. And I paid $1,000 a piece for these 2 Chanels. They were real. And I made $4,000 a piece. So I ended up making $7,000 profit on 2 purses that only took me about a half hour to do the transaction and go list them. Made $7,000. So I made more than my money back that I lost because I took chances and learned.
So the research was to see whether they were fakes or not. So you did a bit of research to work out if this is a counterfeit or a real product. You found.
Oh yeah, I mean after this, the whole week all I was doing was just researching Chanel. I would take it so seriously. We would drive up to Boston an hour away, and we would go into Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Chanel, and I would sit there and look at purses. Like here I am, a man, and like my wife didn't know what's going on. Like I just go in there and I'll pick up the purse and like, excuse me, could you tell me a little bit about this purse? And then I'm asking all the sales there. I'm like, I'm losing $2,000 again. I don't care what they think of me.
You weren't wearing your favorite skirt, were you?
Yeah, that's it, mate.
I left that one at home for that day. Yeah.
There you go. But no, that's cool, man. I mean, so did they educate you, or did you have to educate yourself when you're in that store?
They helped teach me, and then I would just study. I would look at the seams, look at the zippers, do this. A lot of people think you get rich on accident. A lot of it is just grinding and doing the little things that other people aren't willing to do. So I just studied that stuff, and that's how I figured it out.
That's exactly how you do everything. I mean, that's exactly how you got here. So where do you see yourself in the future then?
Well, I'm looking to be making. My goal is to be hitting $100,000 a month with my businesses by the next 6 months. I'm at $50,000 a month right now. I'm going to be one of my mentors made his first million at 18. I'm going to Lithuania in July of next year to train with them. So he's going to get my sales up to $1 million a month. But my goal is to before then hit 100,000 a month in sales. So I want to be doing about 40,000 a month on eBay. I just hired a drop shipping coach so I can experiment and play with that. And then I sell online courses, and we're launching a Shopify store as well. So.
Jeez.
Wow, a lot of things in the works.
That's not small tasks, is it? I only want to be making $1 million a month. I'll be all right,
Yeah. If I make $1 million a month, I should be okay. Yeah. Let's go with that.
Fly to Lithuania to do it.
Yeah. On my private jet. No, it's really your story is really awesome, Dave. And you and I just came back from Ecom Chicago 2016, which was really amazing. It was really awesome to be able to meet you and your wife Amy up there and spend some time with you with some really good people up there, man. I know we had some great time. These conferences are awesome. Ecom Chicago just simply rocks. It's one of my favorite conferences of all to go to. And Rich and Nyla and Mark and Robin do a really wonderful job. But what was your favorite thing about Ecom Chicago that you, because I know, you are like 50,000 miles an hour, man. This guy never stops, guys. I mean, I wore out three pairs of shoes trying to keep up with this guy. It's just pretty credible. But what was your favorite thing about Ecom Chicago?
Well, I have, for me, when I go to conferences, it's not about just learning because, a lot of the learning is great, but you can get a lot of free information on the internet and stuff like that. But it's about building relationships and connections, I think is one of the most powerful things, like me meeting up with you face to face. We had to build a stronger relationship, just us meeting together rather than you just being in my course. And I actually got to meet one of my original mentors that I learned on eBay. Her name was Lynn Drowley. She's called the Queen of Auctions. And my wife and I bought a DVD set, and we were learning some stuff about eBay when we were first launching this business. I learned quite a bit from her, and it was cool to meet her face to face and say, hey, I'm doing $20,000 a month on eBay now because of some of the stuff he taught me. And I got my picture taken with her and to meet her. And then like Jason Smith, who's head of the thrifting board, got to meet them, have drinks, do some karaoke with these really high-level people. That's really what this is all about when you go to these events. It's not just about the learning, but it's building the connections, the relationships, because that's what's going to get you successful is mentors and relationships. I think a lot of people overlook that aspect in business. They look at just the knowledge, but, nobody makes it big on their own. I don't care who you are. Even Rocky Balboa, who was a boxer, he's the only one in the ring. But if he didn't have Mickey, he would be nobody. If he didn't have Adrian for support, he wouldn't be Rocky, So you got to have that team. You got to have those relationships. And that's what it's all about for me.
Amen, brother. I preach on, man. I love it. It's good stuff, man. It really is.
So how does someone find that then? How do you find your mentor?
You've got to get yourself out there. You've got to, first of all, know that it's important to have a mentor and then start actively seeking a mentor. And mentors are hard to find. It took me a while to kind of refine this process. I knew I needed a mentor for the longest time, but attracting a mentor is not as easy as, as people think. One of the biggest things is people think that someone's just going to mentor you because you ask them, hey, can you mentor me? But, it's probably one of the worst ways to find a mentor. One of the best ways to get a mentor is to build a relationship with someone, make a friendship with them. Maybe not like friends, but just kind of meet them face to face a few times. Just be around them. Some of the times that people find out I'm successful and they'll message me and they'll be like, I want to be successful like you. Teach me. Almost like I'm their slave or something like that.
Here's the injection. Right in the neck. There you go. That's It's a lot of work, I imagine.
And I get about 100 messages a day. So, then you get some people that are like, hey, Dave, I saw your videos. Just want to say, I really love your content. It's fantastic. Keep up the great work. And I'm like, oh, that's nice. Thanks. And I'm like, hey, thanks, man. They're like, no problem. And then a couple of days later, they're like, hey, Dave, I have a quick question. I got an eBay sale right now, and I'm just wondering, how should I respond? And when they're very specific like that, and they've already kind of made a contact, I don't have a problem answering a quick message. Just no problem. And then maybe a week later, they'll ask me another question. That's how if you want to get a mentor without paying a lot of money, you could build up a relationship like that because you're not overwhelming the mentor and you're not bothering them at first. Yeah. And be very specific. Like if someone sends me a message like, Dave, tell me how to make money. What do you what am I going to say?
Speedo.
Get a good printer. That's how you make money, but how you earn it is a different story.
But if you say something specifically like, I'm buying this phone for this price, would you recommend I buy, or what price would you recommend? That's something I can answer very quickly, so I can help with that. So if you're going to find a mentor, be specific when you ask them questions. That's a big big pointer I can give.
Unbelievable. Well, we've run out of time here because you're just awesome, David. I mean, you're really awesome. We got to get, when you're making $2 million a month, you're worthy of coming back on, all right? None of this $1 million a month.
I'm having a lot of fun here, so I'm going to get my buttons going because I want to be making that $2 million a month and come hang out with you guys.
Yeah, there you go, mate. I like that. That's good. That's a good way to end this show, isn't it? But seriously, thanks for coming in because it's the inspiration. It's the despair to making something work. That's the message. And that's a really massive message to anyone because there's a lot of people at that point where I have nothing, this isn't working. But to hear that it is possible, I think it's awesome. So I'm glad Ron managed to get you on here.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it. I'm glad to have you guys. This is one of the best interviews I've done so far, so I appreciate it.
You haven't seen the outcome yet. We make you sound like a one of those little cartoon things, you know, like you've been on helium all night or something. So we'll make you sound like a chipmunk or something.
Hey, someone eBay.
There you go. Yeah, right. We sound sexy, and there's the chipmunk. But it's been fantastic having you. We'll post all the notes from today's interview on our show notes page, which can be found at www.soyouwantasellonebay.com/show notes. Before you go there, Dave, what's the best way that people can sort of join one of your programs or contact you with questions?
Okay, so right now I have a site called phonesellingcourse.com. I'm not sure if the links are working yet. We just finished it up this week, and there's a couple more things we got to tweak on it, but that's phonesellingcourse.com. And if that's not working, just reach out to me on Facebook, David Kosciusko, Kosciusko. Just look me up on Facebook, send me a message and say, hey, Dave, I saw you on the show. Just wondering if you could give me some eBay advice or I want to check out your course. And I'll send you a link with all the stuff that you need.
Fantastic stuff. That's too many long words there. We'll paste it all into the show notes page. So just go there. I was trying to type in cell phone. How'd you spell cell phone? But that's thanks very much for that, Dave. Seriously, we got to get you back on, whether you're making $2 million, whether you're making £1 or $1 a month. It doesn't matter to us. We love having you on the show. Thanks once again. From everyone here at So You Want to Sell on eBay, I'm Ali Young.
And I'm Ron LeBeau.
That's all for this episode of So You Want to Sell on eBay. Be sure to check out our next episode or any past episodes by going online to soyouwantasellonebay.com. Also, be sure to follow us on your favorite social media sites, facebook.com/So You Want to Sell on eBay, and Twitter at Your eBay Podcast. Thanks for listening. And until next time, happy selling.
Have an idea for a topic or know someone who would like to be on the show? Let us know. Just go to www.soyouwantasellonebay.com/interview. We look forward to hearing from you. This podcast was produced in part by Pro VoiceWorks.